I usually put this one on first. Oh, oh, come on. Shut up. I am being artistic. Like a glove. And it's my face again. And if you couldn't tell, I am recording back to back. It is sweltering here. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Horror fans, cinephiles, Giallo enthusiasts, let's do another talking head. Today I am going to talk about my top underrated kills in Giallo films. Now, this is not the entire list. This is just what I could think of on the spot. And of course, like I say, I'm very transparent. I have not seen every Giallo film. So as I do watch more, especially more of the films that I put in my Forgotten Giallo film series, I discover more. As I start watching more Spanish gialli, I discover more. I originally was going to do just 3 kills, but I figured, why not? Let's step it up. Let's get a little bit more in here. So I'm going to do 7 underrated Giallo film kills. Number 7 is from Death Laid an Egg. I spit all over the microphone. I will say that a lot of these kills are either going to fall under the category of they're like, oh, that was brutal and graphic, or they're done very stylistically. And the stylistic element is going to be in part due to how it's shot, the editing, and the music. So for this kill from Death Laid an Egg, this is leaning in the side of being stylistically very pleasant. This is at the end of the movie, and Jean-Louis Trintignant's character basically falls into this like feed mulcher thing. And the way it's done, first off, this whole movie is shot so incredibly and is edited so incredibly. It is one of 2 Giallo films from the 60s. I mean, basically it's a whole canon, but 2 films that both have Jean-Louis Trintignant in them, and both are just like gorgeous in terms of the editing. They're very 60s. What is it? It's this pop style. It's, for me, I always mention that these movies make me think of if Jean-Luc Godard made a Giallo film. So Death Laid an Egg, that kill is very, very well shot and edited in a way where you don't see anything, but you know what happened. Number 6 is The Blood-Stained Shadow, and there are 2 good kills in this movie that I will say. So I'm going to just give it to the title itself, and I will highlight the 2 kills. The first of these 2 is the kill in the opening, and on one hand, it's kind of cheap, but again, it's the way it's shot. The frame rate is slowed down, and it just has this very kind of jerky, slow motion vibe to it as this person in black is strangling this like Catholic schoolgirl outside of a beautiful church in this like little grassy wooded area. And what carries this for me, along with the choices with the slower frame rate, the slow motion, everything, is the music. This opening scene in this movie, to me, is one of the more memorable aspects of Giallo films, and specifically this movie. I want to take that song, I want to use it in my own movie. I fucking love it. And then I felt it wasn't proper to talk about the Bloodstained Shadow underrated kills if I don't talk about the final kill. And the final kill is, spoiler alert, it is after we are revealed who the killer was this whole time, which in typical Giallo fashion, if you have a priest, it's going to be the priest probably. And he runs to the top of the steeple while being chased by the main character, and he's just like, he's upset. He got caught. And he gets to the top and throws himself off. And this is one of the best falling to your death cliche kills in a Giallo film, because it looks good. The way he jumps off, it's like, then it's a close-up of him upside down screaming. You hear like the echo of the voice as it like kind of reverberates through the across the cobblestone in the town, and you see this figure. And a lot of times when they throw a body off, it's they're throwing like a fake body, like a mannequin, and it's very clear that you're just like, that looks like shit. This one, it looks good in terms of this guy threw himself off. Now, if this guy was thrown off, you would be like, okay, that looks dumb. But the fact that this guy threw himself off in like I'm gonna end it here, and the way that body just kind of flips, and then you don't see it land, it just kind of falls out of frame. And then you hear the thud, and then you hear the music as the credits roll. It's so good. It's again one of those like perfect buttons on a great film. Yeah. Okay, number 5. Talking about 60s Giallo films that remind me of Jean-Luc Godard. Deadly Sweet by Tinto Brass. This movie is... So, I watched this movie after I had already covered my 60s Giallo films, and I realized I really wish I had gotten this movie and covered it, and I probably will. I don't know about this year. Probably. We'll be going back and doing a Gialli Tally for Deadly Sweet, because this movie is phenomenal. It's a little slow, but the editing is just crazy. And to me, I was reconsidering, like, I need to redo my top 10 Giallo films of the 60s, because this is absolutely going in there. Sometimes the editing can come off as obnoxious, but it's just so incredible. There's like a scene in the middle where Jean-Louis Trintignant's character and I think it's the brother of... excuse me. I always get this. I always flip-flop on the same. I don't know if it's Ava Olin or Ewa Olin, but the cute girl who was in a bunch of Giallo films in the late 60s. Kind of weirdly enough, I'm pretty sure she was 17 in this movie, which she get naked. So that's that's Italy for you. But she gets kidnapped in like the middle, and Jean-Louis Trintignant's character and, again, I think it's her brother, they go looking for her, they find where she's being held, and it'll go from being like color and then these like crazy crash zooms and these crazy like insert shots to all of a sudden it's just black and white, and it feels like they stitched two movies together that just it just happens to work perfectly. And it's crazy because, again, on one hand you can see how it's just like, this is just over the top with, oh, let's go black and white now. Oh, let's go back to color. Oh, let's do a couple like zooms on like irrelevant things. But it just works. I don't know how else to describe it, but it just works. And this is my opinion. I'm pretty sure a lot of people will watch and just say, yeah, the movie is just style over substance. Fine. That's fine. But I watched this movie and I just thought, whoa, this is cool. This reminds me of just a lot of 60s French films that were just thinking outside the box. And so, yeah. But the kills. So there are two kills, and they're both very different. They're similar on one hand, and that is that they both involve guns. I think there's only gun kills in this movie, if I remember correctly. But the first one, Jean-Louis Trintignant, he meets, I'm going to say Ava Olin. It might be Ewa Olin, so excuse me. But he meets her, and she, I don't remember how, but she basically tells him to go to this place, or she insinuates this, and he goes to, he goes into this flat, into this bedroom, and then all of a sudden these two goons come in, these two cronies, these like criminals, and he hides. And then they find him really quickly, and he's kind of trying to play it off like, oh, oh, me? Oh, no, nothing. And he found a gun earlier, and he hid the gun. I think he hid the gun when he heard them coming. And so he's getting kind of smacked around, and he falls to the couch right where the gun is. And so he pulls the gun out, and he shoots the one goon, and then he shoots the other guy, and this is where the editing comes in. It'll be like bang, and it'll just go like an insert crash zoom on like a comic book pop like thing that just says bang. It'll just be like bang, bang, and they go down, and he gets out. And again, great way to do a kill in a way where you're like, let's not spend too much time or money or effort on showing it. Let's just convey it. And brilliantly done, in my opinion. And then there's a kill at the end of the movie, spoiler alert, where he finds out that this girl has been playing him the whole time, so she could ultimately get, I believe, her father's inheritance. And she's standing out on this like balcony, and she's kind of just like leaned back against the wall, and she's just got a gun out on him, and he's poor dude, he's just been infatuated with her this whole time. And again, this movie gives me this very Jean-Luc Godard, Pierre Le Fou feel of this like middle-aged guy who kind of just throws his life away in the pursuit of this romance of this younger girl, this younger woman. And it leads to his downfall in both movies, different actors, but anyways, so she's got the gun on him, and he's adamant like, you're not gonna shoot me, you're not gonna shoot me, you love me, you're not gonna shoot me. And he walks away, turns his back on her, and he just keeps like, you're not gonna shoot me. And he turns around, and she just shoots him like right, and he's just like, oh! It's like they actually show it. You see the squib blow up, and it's so sad in terms of just like he really threw his life away for this girl, and she was a snake and just bit him. But it's very interesting the contrast between those two kills. The one that's very stylized, very doesn't show it, but it's very just like bah, boom. It's really cool. And then this other one, which is just you see it. It's like doesn't cut too frequently, and it's just tragic. Number 4 was another 1960s movie I saw after the fact, after I'd already covered these movies, and that is A Black Veil for Lisa. And there are 2 kills in this movie that I really liked. Kind of 3, but really 2. The first kill, where this dude gets stalked, and this is like 3 minutes in the movie, 5 minutes in the movie. This guy is getting stalked by someone, black gloves, clad in black hat, and turns around, confronts the person. Confront, that was a word I was looking for earlier. The killer just like stabs him, and it's not too crazy. Like, it's not so stylized or well done. But what I really enjoyed about this kill is the guy goes down, and then the shot is on the body, and you can see the person at the edge of the frame, the killer standing there. I think they throw the knife down, they throw the gloves down, they throw the hat down, and walk away. And it was very interesting for me as like a shakeup of this Giallo thing, where it's like, oh, that's how we identify the killer. And it was just like, no. He did one kill, and he threw away the whole costume. I don't know. I thought that was interesting. Like, oh, whoa, he's just going to leave it all at the crime scene. Here, take the gloves with my DNA in it. Which I think luckily at this time for him, you could not really easily track DNA with something like that. But anyways, Next kill, I'll mention this one. Like I said, it's really just 2 kills, but our detective catches, I believe it is the killer. He's like, get in the car, like, like you're under arrest. And the guy, like, pulls a knife out and stabs our poor main hero, and just kills him. That was, I'll give that kudos, because it was just like, oh, whoa, I did not see that coming. I did not think they were going to kill off our main guy, like, right at the climax. But the kill that I really like in this movie, and I feel weird because a lot of these kills are kind of like either just like simple knives or they're guns. This is a gun kill, but it's so over the top. It made me laugh so hard when I first watched it. This is like moments after that. The killer is being chased through the woods by police, and they've got dogs, and they just got a line of men, and they're just pushing, running, after him. And he hides behind a tree, and he pops out, and he's like, ka-chew, pew. This one cop has a fucking submachine gun, and it's just like, and the killer just like, oh, like, it's so over the top dramatic, but it's so great. It's just like, oh, I've never seen that in a giallo at that time. I just never seen some guy like, oh, he just got gunned down, like he just yeah, that was brilliant. Number 3 is from Watch Me When I Kill, and this movie, I don't want to talk too much about it and spoil, but this movie did something, I will say, at the end it is revealed that I was like, that is unique. That is probably one of the best motives I've ever seen for killing in a giallo. But that'll be time for another video. But if you haven't seen it, check it out. But so again, there's like 2 kills in this movie I want to talk about. One of them is okay, so I'll just get into it. This is not the main kill I was going to go for, but I'll mention this. So the first kill is this pharmacist gets killed in a pharmacy, and this is like style. The way this is shot is he comes up, or so he's walking, and then he turns away from the frame and starts walking deeper into the frame, and then the killer comes out into the foreground and bops him on the back of the head, and he goes down, and the killer then, you then see, like, shot on the guy as he's laying down, knife comes up to his Adam's apple, and then immediately as it cuts, it then does this insert shot of like animal eyes, and but it's not like, oh, like a real animal. It either feels like this is a like a taxidermy animal, or this is like a fake animal, like a stuffed animal. But it's a very close up on like visor of like clearly something animal, because it's just got fur all over, and then these like beady reflective eyes, and it's just like, doo, and then drags the knife across the Adam's apple. And as cheap as this effect is to do, you've seen this 100 times in movies where it's like fake knife draws and you just see like blood then coming out, like it's clear that the blood is coming out of the prop. The way they did this, it actually makes me go, ugh, because they fucking drag that across his throat, his Adam's apple, and it's just like, oh, like, oh god, that hurt. Like, I've done a lot of stuff where it's like acting where you're just like, just hit me, it'll look good. Like, don't do the fake. Just actually hit me. And when you watch someone get smacked in something and it looks like it hurts, you're like I know it's like, obviously it's not like someone's getting stabbed or getting shot or something, but a fucking smack to the face still hurts. And that just looked like it was like, oh, hold on, can we take 5? So cool. But then the kill that I actually really like, and this is the thing that I remember about this movie, is this kill is this is like an hour in, I think. This dude gets smothered, gets strangled in the bathtub. And he's got music going on. Killer comes in, and again, it's just a lot of like close-ups. And it's just like his face, his reaction, you know, the hands, the gloves. He takes the shower nozzle hose thing, wraps it around the guy, starts strangling him. You're just seeing the guy thrashing in the water. It syncs up so well with the music, and it's just a brilliant kill, and easily one of the top bathroom kills in a Giallo film. Which, ooh, that's an idea for a movie later, for a video later. Moving on. Okay, now these last two were the ones I knew I was going to do. Everything else I kind of had to look around, go through some movies I've seen, and be like, what are some good underrated kills? So some of those other ones are all like, you know, but these last two I 100% stand by as these are great kills. So number 2 is from a Spanish thriller. I'll say Spanish Giallo. Again, don't want people to get mad at me and say that's not a Giallo. You're lying to people. The House That Screamed. And first, let me just say that there is some brutal stuff in this movie, and it's got a great reveal at the end with some really frightening imagery. But the first kill, I was not expecting it to be so stylized. I was expecting it to be, I mean, a lot of Giallo films, especially with Dario Argento, there's a little bit of showing a little bit more where you should be kind of hiding or whatever. Like these other kills I talked about, like Watch Me When I Kill, the bathtub kill. There's a lot of cutting to like this, to that, to this, to that, back to this. And sometimes you get kills where it's holding a little too long on something. So like, you know, the killer coming up behind someone and like bopping them on the head, or like taking the person and they're like getting their head smashed into a wall, where it's like, okay, like I can tell that as you guys were filming this, you know, like I can tell that you weren't really, that you're acting, and stuff like that always kind of takes it out, where you're just like, okay, that just looks stupid. This is why sometimes if you can't pull off something that actually looks brutal, you need to be cutting. You need to be cutting to this, cutting to that. You need to do it in a way that just kind of accentuates the strengths and hides the weaknesses, hides the flaws. And so I was kind of expecting, you know, I knew this girl was about to get killed. I was kind of expecting it was just going to be kind of a cheap, like, okay, whatever. Oh, no. This one is, first off, the terror leading into it was really good, the tension, and then when the killer strikes, it is what do you call this? Double exposures, where there's like two clips being played on top of each other, and you're seeing the girl struggling, and you're seeing the knife from like a different shot, and then it's cutting to like blood splattering on the flowers, and then it's like you see the killer holding the girl's mouth, and you're seeing blood spurting out from the killer's hands as they're holding her mouth, and the music is both sad and haunting, and it's just like, I was just like, bravo, that was amazing. And then as the kill winds down, the music starts slowing down, and it's so brilliantly done, and it just reminds me of a lot of my favorite Giallo film kills, which are usually not the ones that are more brutal, but the ones that are just shot very well. I love that kill, like I talk about in Bird of the Crystal Plumage, where the girl is held down on the bed, and you know, your clothes are ripped off, and the knife and everything. I love the kill in Black Billy the Tarantula, where the girl is knocked unconscious, lying on the bed, and the killer is standing over her in the foreground, and again, it's shot to their hands, it's shot to her reaction, it's shot to like his full body of what he's doing. way more into these stylized killings than slasher killings. But I do like slasher killings, and I do like the killings where it's really brutal. And this is why I like New York Ripper, because it's just very brutal. But for this movie and for this kill, I think House That Screamed is very underrated. I've never actually heard anybody talk about it. That doesn't mean that obviously a lot of these people I know, my viewers or subs, haven't seen it, but I just never hear anybody talk about it. And so I think that qualifies as an underrated film with a very underrated kill. And number one, and this is funny because I'm going to flip on something I just said and go for a kill that is brutal. And this is from My Dear Killer, which I will be covering very soon, as it is one of the first Giallo films of 1972. So I saw this about a year or two ago, and I didn't know what to expect. I was watching a lot of Giallo films that were available on Shudder, thanks to Vinegar Syndrome's Forgotten Gialli box sets they started doing these restorations. Shudder started, putting them up on the channel. And so I went through the Giallo catalog that Shudder had, and I was like, all right, I'll watch this, I'll watch this, I'll watch this. I came across a lot of movies I didn't really like. My Dear Killer, though, I think was one of the first I watched, and I wasn't really expecting a lot, because it was like, at the time I was like, I don't know who made this. I've never heard of this. So it's not like, a movie that I hadn't seen where I'm like, oh, but I've heard of that. Death Carries a Cane, or The Killer Reserved 9 Seats, or The Red Queen Must Kill 7 Times. These titles that it's like, oh, I've heard of that. But never heard of My Dear Killer until I was watching it. And so I wasn't really expecting a lot. And it opens with, like, there's a weird kill where someone gets killed with, like, construction equipment, I think. And then police find a guy who's, like, hung, and they're trying to rule it out as a suicide. Is like, no, this has got to be a murder that's being staged. But there's a kill, I want to say like 40 minutes in. I thought it was sooner in the movie, until I went back through the movie to find this kill, just to see if it really was as brutal as I remembered it. And I was like going through, I'm like, did I skip it? And then I'm like, oh my God, it's like 40 minutes, an hour into the movie. It's like near the middle. This kill, this guy comes into this woman's flat and eventually starts stalking her. And it's like, she knew who this person was, trusted them. And then all of a sudden it's like, nope, I'm the killer. I'm going to kill you. And they pick up I think it's like a circular saw. I don't know exactly what you'd call that. It looks like a small version of a circular saw, and starts coming after her. And in terms of brutal kills, Bay of Blood has very brutal kills. The New York Ripper has some of the most brutal kills I've ever seen, and especially just for Giallo. But the thing with that is, when you watch it, now this is gonna sound weird, but when you watch the New York Ripper and you watch A Bay of Blood and you see these brutal kills, they're special effects. So you can kind of geek out on, oh, okay, I see how they did that. Like a machete in the face. Okay, that's obviously a prop machete that there's like a divot in it, and they kind of laid it in there and set it, and then they added all this gore. Or oh, that's a fake head that they cut off. Or New York Ripper, okay, that's a fake face, fake eyeball that they're cutting into. That's a fake bust of chest that they're cutting into, and it's just a super close up of these of flesh and organs that it's clear it's fake, and they're just cutting into it, but it looks really cool. That's what's fascinating about a lot of these kills and a lot of slasher kills is they look cool because you see how they kind of made it. Maybe you don't know all the details, but you're like, oh, okay, I can tell that that's a special effect. This kill, I know how they did it, but I don't know how they did it safely, is the thing. The killer drags this circular saw across this girl's back, and I literally was watching it okay, that's an actual spinning thing. Now it's probably doesn't have the blades probably don't have teeth, obviously, but that thing definitely looks like it went across her, and then it just, the way the blood hit her and the blood shot out, again, I can kind of see how they did this. It's not like I'm just lost, but how they did it in a way that looked so real is crazy to me, because it's like what I talked about earlier when it's like dragging the prop knife across someone and it's got the fake blood coming out. This is that, but at 11. This is a fucking electrical tool, just goes blood, and then she turns and it cuts her leg, and it's the same thing. The blood just sprays, covers her leg, starts washing all across her. And now I haven't seen footage like this, but to me this makes me think of like cartel videos where you see someone getting decapitated. That kill, when I watch it in My Dear Killer, it makes me cringe, and it's just like, oh my god, way. Because as much as I know, of course, it's a special effect, it looks like I'm watching someone actually getting attacked with a saw. It looks like it looks like someone just inserted an actual clip from the cartels into this movie, and you're watching someone actually getting like cut open. Obviously the effect could be even gorier and this is that, but for this movie that, again, nobody talks about. I know a lot of people have seen this movie, but nobody talks about it. Nobody talks about this kill. And so I think from a very underrated movie, this is Giallo, this is the most underrated kill. Obviously this list is not the final. I will do more of these as I watch more and more movies, but this one definitely should go in like top Giallo film kills of all time. And yes, and this is I think the only one on this list that's not I don't give it this award in terms of like, oh, the editing is beautiful or it does a great job of hiding like where it's a special effect and just making like these quick cuts where like your mind is doing more of the work than your eyes. No, this one they show it to you, and like I said, it just doesn't look like a special effect. Like I know it's fake blood. I know it's a prop that's just squirt. But it's so fast. It looks so good. And maybe they do cut before it looks ridiculous, but fucking kudos to this movie. It looks brilliant. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what your top underrated kills in Giallo films are. Now, the reason, like I said, I kind of caveated this is like I'm not going to include Argento, Fulci, Bava, Martino. I'm not going to include any of these big names because I feel like I actually could have put a kill in here from a few from Argento, from some of his lesser known ones. Like Sleepless has a really brutal kill, but I kind of assume Argento is kind of off limits in terms of being considered underrated. That's just me. Like, of course, everyone's probably seen all of Argento's Giallo films if we're talking about Giallo. But yeah, let me know if you got some underrated kills. Again, you can disagree with me. That's fine. These are my picks for my own reasons. And maybe you hate these stylized kills and you want to just see the violence or whatever. I don't know. Let me know. I'd love to hear it. And maybe you'll say something that I haven't seen before. Maybe you'll say something that I overlooked and I'm like, damn it, I should have mentioned that. But yep. So thank you for watching this. I had fun doing this. Thank you for watching this. This guy is King Releaser for The King in Giallo. And if nothing else, I'll see you next time. Let me take these gloves off because I can't touch my computer if I got these gloves on because it's not going to register. Okay, that voice was going a little somewhere I did not mean for. Anyways, bye-bye.